Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, we will be making a group chat application using NodeJS and Socket.io. So let me show you what we will be building today. So this is the home page. We can join a room from here. So let's join as Sachin first. And let me join another room as John. And let's say join room. In this room, we will see John has joined. That is an alert message. So that's all for this part 1 video. We'll be implementing the chat feature in part 2. So let's begin with the coding. Let me install first the dependencies. So before installing the dependencies, we need to initialize our project. So I have created a group chat project folder. Inside that, let me say npm init for initializing the project. Package name as group chat version 1. Description, let's say this is a group chat app. Entry point will be server.js. Test command, let's say node server. Git repository empty. Keywords, let's say group chat. Author variable coder. License ISC. Is this okay? Yes. So we see a package.json file. Inside this, we will change the test to start script, which will be node server. Now let's install the dependencies. So I'll be using two dependencies. First would be Express. The second would be Socket.io. Press enter and the dependencies would be installed. So the dependencies are installed. Let me install one more dependency, that is the dev dependency. So it would be npm install -d for dev dependency and nodemon. What this nodemon does is it will restart the server. It will actually refresh the server once we save our project. So hit enter. So we have the dependency and dev dependency here. Now let's give a dev start as nodemon server. Save this. Now we need a server.js file and a public folder which will be our static folder which will contain HTML and JavaScript. So let's create a folder named public. Inside public, I'll be making an index.html page, a room.html page. Now inside index.html, let me initialize first. So this is index page. This is room. So HTML colon 5. In the server.js, let me load the Express module first. So we have loaded the Express module. Now from the core modules of Node, let me load the path module and the HTTP module. Now we have downloaded a dependency of socket.io, so let me load socket.io as well. And let's start the server. Let's say http.create server, and we'll pass the app, which is the Express app. Initialize the socket.io with the server which we created. Now let's start the server on port 3000, or if we deploy on a server, it should be process.env.port. Now for the static folder, we can write express.static and path.join underscore name, which is a global variable, and public. Let's start the server now. Server.listen on the port, and if the server starts, then it will print server started. Save this and let's run the server. Type npm run dev, and the nodemon and the server started. So in the index.html page, let's start with the index.html. So it's a very small HTML, that is div and id as center, a paragraph with class as header, join room, div class flex center, input type as text, id name, and placeholder name, autocomplete off, and a button for submit. We will say on click join. It will call a join function from the JavaScript once we click this button. Let's declare the join function in the script tag. So let's say local storage dot set item. The key would be name, and let's get the name and its value and save it in the format of key value pairs in local storage. Then let's take the page to room.html, save this, and let's check our index.html page. So this is how it looks right now. So we need to give some styling. So I'll be giving all the styling in the description box. So I'm just copying and pasting it here. It's a very small CSS. I'll just paste it here and save this, and let's check how it's looking now. So looks good now. In the room.html, we will be doing the same thing. Let me write the HTML first. So a div with ID center, a div with class as head, and text inside that would be chat room, a div with class as messages div, and a div with class send message div. Inside that, input type equals to text and placeholder as enter message. Same. So now we have to load the socket.io client library here. So let's load script and src equals to /socket.io/socket.io.js. Let's save this, and now we can use that client script. So let's first initialize the socket. So const socket equals to io, and now let's get the name which we had set in the previous page, that is the index.html page. So local storage.get item and get the name. Now if the name is undefined, we will just move or redirect the page to the index.html. Now as a client connects, the socket will emit a message new client, which will be caught by the server, and the message would be name has joined. Now in the server side, here we can say io.on connection, and we'll get the socket. Let's print console log new client connected. Let's save this, and once we log in now, we will see new client connected got printed in the console. So now we can say socket.on new client. As soon as we get a new client and the message, we will say socket.broadcast. It will broadcast to all other sockets. So broadcast.emit client and the message. Save this, and in the client we have to catch this client message. So socket.on client now we will show a toast message here. So for that we need a toast.js file. I'm just copying the code and pasting it here for toast.js. This is a helper library. I'll be giving the description in description box. save. So the toast is case. We have saved the toast.js. Now let's load this library here. So let toast equals to new toast. The type would be info. Duration will be 5 seconds. And lastly is animate would be true. Then here it should be toast.show message. Save this. Now let's refresh and join the room. Okay, I guess I forgot the CSS. Yes, I forgot the CSS for room.html. So this is the CSS, and let's refresh. Now let's again join with the name John. As soon as I join, we see okay, I forgot to add the toast. So script src equals to toast.js. So now the toast.js is added. Let me do it again. So here I'll join as Sachin, and here I'll join as John. As soon as I join, I will get an alert message here as John has joined. So that's all for part 1. In the part 2 video, we will implement the chatting feature, so one can write a message and send the message, and the message will be received by each and everyone connected in the socket. So thanks for watching.